Good evening, friends. Meeting again in the Organon philosophy session. We are discussing regarding the Jetikan's philosophy, and we have reached to the chapter number 4. Yesterday, because of some disturbances, half of the lecture we have finished over there. So we have to begin over there. In this chapter, fourth chapter, he is completing the part of third aphorism which was remaining, and which he wants to explain in detail. He explains that whatever happens over there, it happens according to the principles of homeopathy, the doctrines of homeopathy, and everywhere this doctrine is applicable. Whenever the cure has to happen, it is from center to periphery. Whenever the disease has to happen, it is from center to periphery. And everything in a human being is related with center to periphery. The center, everything is based upon the center. He has compared the human government in relation with the political government, and he tried to or made it simplified to understand the concepts. And here he explains that in the human being, the center is right from the will and understanding, then the brain, then the cerebrum, the cerebellum, the spinal cord, and through that the periphery. So this order is always there, and this order expresses exactly how the disease takes place. For that purpose, he is trying to make it clear in everyone's mind regarding it. So let us begin again with that paragraph which we have left half of it. We'll start with same paragraph. We see from all this the necessity of potentization. So what is it? We see from all this the necessity of potentization. Why it is necessary to potentize? Because with potentization, the remedies which are gets potentized, and where there is no material medicine, only the dynamic stimulus is there, it works on the same law, that is actions and reactions are equal and opposite. So this works only when medicine is given not in material form but in potentized form. All causes are so refined in character, so subtle in their nature, subtle means sukshma, so subtle in their nature that they can operate from center to circumference, operate upon man's interior, and from interior to the very exterior. The coarser things cannot permeate the skin. The coarser things cannot permeate the skin. Man's skin is an envelope protecting him against the contagion from coarser materials. But against the immaterial substance, he is protected only when in perfect health. This concept is very important. Our body is covered with skin, to which he labeled by the name of it is an envelope. This envelope, because of this skin, the external things cannot enter in your body directly. It is a protection for physical material things. But there are many things which are immaterial in life. The thoughts are there. There are multiple dynamic effects happens on your body. And those can penetrate this skin because it never requires a medium in between as a barrier. So it enters directly. And when it enters, still you have to remain healthy. And this is protected, or your health is protected only because you are in the state of health. It means that when your vital force is in the state of health, you are in state of health. So it is too important to understand exactly that whenever you have to be remain in a perfect state of health, it is necessary to be healthy. Then you never gets affected because the dynamical things. But still, you have a susceptibility. You have a miasm in background. You have your own constitution. You have your own aspects, and because of which you react. So there are many things because of which you react. Still, your vital force tries to keep you in the state of health. And that's why he says over there. But against the immaterial substance, he is protected only when in perfect health. It is an unguarded moment he suffers. And this is the nature and quality of disease cause. It can only flow into the man from center and towards the outermost in the way to disturb his government. So if your thoughts get disturbed, if you are disturbed mentally at the level of mind, at the level of your understanding, the reflection is there on whole periphery. See, simple example will take. In the morning you wake up and there is some dispute between you and your friend or someone else in your family or someone. See what happens. Nothing goes inside, but your center gets disturbed. Once your center gets disturbed, whole day you are disturbed. Your face is not looking fresh. You look depressed. You are not interested in many things, and you talk in this sense. What has happened in my today? I don't know. I am disturbed, etc. Since center is disturbed, everything at periphery starts disturbing. This is the way it happens. The disease happens in this manner. And this is called as a dynamic derangement of the disease. In an unguarded movement, he suffers, and this is the nature and quality of disease cause. It can only flow into the man from the center and towards the outermost in a way to disturb his government. The disturbance of government is a disturbance of order, and this is all there is of sickness. And we have only to follow this out to find that the very house man lives in and his cells are becoming deranged. So once you are disturbed centrally, once you are disturbed at the level of vital force, your vital energy, vital principle, then the cells gets disturbed, then the tissues gets disturbed, the organs they disturbed, the order gets converted into disorder, and it reflects in the form of some signs and symptoms. This is the way the disease develops. Changes are the results of disorder and end in breaking down, degeneration, etc. Pus cells and the various forms of degenerations are only the result of disorder. So he is explaining the philosophy, how this disease is developing. So whenever pus is formed, it is the result. It is not the disease. Pus is the pus is the end product. The disorder is prior to it. Because of that disorder, the cells behave in an abnormal manner, which ultimately makes changes inside the body, which reflects in the formation of pus and debris, and that tries to come out. This whole sequence is there, and this whole sequence explains exactly the output. That disease is prior to those measurable things or visible things. Changes are the result of disorder and end in breaking down, degeneration, etc. Pus cells and various forms of degeneration are only the results of disorder. So long as order and harmony go on perfectly, so long as tissues are in state of health, the metamorphosis is healthy, the tissue change is normal, the physiological state is maintained. So still, till you are in the state of health, everything remains in harmony. Cells behave normally. The reproduction develops normally. So there is no change. Person remains in state of health, never reflects in the form of disease. So maintaining the health is very important from both things. It has been protected from material things, but from the immaterial things, dynamic things, you have to get protected. And this protection is very much necessary. And that can be only built when you remains in the state of health. We can only comprehend म्हणजे एखादी गोष्टी समजून घेणे, आकलन करणे, to understand things. We can only comprehend the nature of disease and tissue changes, the result of disease, by going back to its beginning. The study of etiology in the old school is wonderful farce because it begins with nothing. So he is explaining exactly the comparing homeopathic aspect of looking towards the disease and allopathic aspect of looking towards it. When you look towards the disease with homeopathic angle, you can think about all those things, but you will come to the conclusion that there is nothing visible inside your body. Then you have to take into consideration the dynamic aspects of the human life, human life you have to understand, and then you have to find it out what is that dynamics which are disturbing him. That is the cause. Cause is hidden over there. Allopath tries to find it out, the disease in the form of some material, either with the naked eyes, either with the microscopes, either with some new different investigations like X-rays, MRIs, then CT scans and ultrasonography. But what they are looking for, actually, they are not looking for the causes of disease. They considers it as a cause of disease, but actually it is not the cause of the disease. It is the end product of the disease. So, for example, USG is done and patient is found that patient is having polycystic ovarian disease. They label, they tells the patient you are diseased because you are have polycystic ovarian. Whether this sentence is truth, think over it. They talks to the patient, you are having problem because you are having PCOD. Actually, you must tell them you are diseased because of which you are having PCOD. PCOD is the result. The multiple cysts inside the ovaries are the results. It is not the cause of the disease. Cause is prior to it, which is lies in the invisible interior, which you cannot see with any instrumentation, any laboratory techniques, any microscope, because it is hidden in the dynamic form. And this is the difference. This one must understand. If one understands this, then he understands what to treat. So the study of etiology in old school is a wonderful farce. Word which he has used is wonderful. Farce, because it is they look towards these material causes, because it begins with nothing. It is an assumption that tissue changes are the disease. What they consider, tissue change is the disease. Tissue change is not the disease, it is the end result. From the doctrines of homeopathy, it will be seen that the morbid anatomy, no matter where it occurs, must be considered to be a result of disease. So morbid anatomy means changes in the organs, changes in the tissue, changes in the shapes of the tissues. All those things are not the causes of disease, they are the results of the disease. And this is what one has to understand. So he's clearly mentioning over there what exactly the disease is and how to look towards the diseases. Then he completes that aphorism, third aphorism, in the next paragraph. What he says, all curable diseases makes themselves known to the physician by signs and symptoms only. What he said, all curable diseases makes themselves known to the physician by signs and symptoms. That is the only thing with which you understand disease. You cannot understand disease with your naked eyes, with your instruments. You can understand the internal disease by external signs and symptoms. When the disease does not make itself known in signs and symptoms and its progress is to in interior, we at once perceive that that man is in a very precarious condition. Precarious means dhokadayak, anischit, where you can not confirm, that is precarious. So when disease doesn't have a symptom, for example, the pathology is so advanced, the cancer is so advanced, now patient doesn't have strength to express the pain. He's in such a state, grave condition, no signs and symptoms are happening. This condition indicates that patient is in a grave condition. Conditions of the body that are incurable are such very often as have no external signs and symptoms. And these are the conditions which are more and more worsened, difficult conditions. And that this is what he wants to explain. So the concept of knowledge of disease, its indications, knowledge of medicinal powers, the choice of the remedy, the medicine indicated, the proper dose, the repetition of those obstacles in the process of recovery, and all concepts related with the concept of disease has been thoroughly explained by J.T. Kent in this part of the his lecture number 3 and lecture number 4. And here completes the aphorism number 3 over there. Next paragraph starts with aphorism number 4. And aphorism number 4 is very specific in the 6th edition of Organ of Medicine. He should be likewise a preserver of health if he knows the thing that deranges the health in the state of health. So this aphorism is a very, very important thing. It is one more quality one homeopath must understand. So if being a homeopath, you are sitting over there and your patient is there along with patient's relative is there. And along with that patient who is the accompanied person who is talking about the something regarding that doctor, I am having tobacco habit and etc. It is your duty that stop that. He should be preserver of health even though he is not your patient. So that aspect Hahnemann have mentioned. See the thought of a Hahnemann, it is very important. And that's why what Kane wants to tell about this. Let us go with the 4th paragraph. So he mentions over there, in the 4th paragraph, Hahnemann says, the physician is likewise with the preserver of health if he knows the things that derange the health and cause the disease and how to remove them from the persons in health. And this is the important thing one has to follow, one has to develop. If the physician believes that causes are external, if he believes that the material changes in the body are things that disturb the health, are the fundamental causes of sickness, he will undertake to remove these. Example, he will cut off hemorrhoids or remove the tumor. But these are not the object Hahnemann means. Hahnemann never wants to say like that. That disease is like a hemorrhoid. Hemorrhoid is not the disease. Hemorrhoid is the result of disease. Hahnemann never wants to say like that. Hahnemann wants to say the things which derange the health. So, for example, a person is addicted to alcohol. It is your duty to remove the alcohol because of alcohol he can get disease. So here the question of certain things because of which person can go into the state of disease, those Hahnemann wants to explain. So the objects he means are invisible and can only be known by signs and symptoms. Of course, it is the quite right for physician to remove those things that are external to the sick man and are troubling him. So, for example, if a person who is coming to you a lot of cough and he's smoking a lot, so it is your duty to ask him to stop the smoking. Very important, because that is the only thing with which patient can come out of that situation. So that is, he should likewise be preserver of health if he knows the thing that deranges the health. It is his duty to tell the patient. Of course, it is quite right for the physician to remove those things that are external to the sick man and are troubling him. These are not disease, but they are in a measure disturbing him and making him sick, aggravating his chronic miasm, so that it will progress and destroy. So what he says, these are not disease, but they are the major disturbing him, making him sick, aggravating his chronic miasm, so that it will progress and destroy. These are outward obstacles and not the disease. But in this, in this way, man is very often rendered more susceptible to acute miasm. So there are many things which happens. There are many entities which affects the state of health of the human. So there are certain entities because of which human can get affected. When you are even though you are in a state of health, but the winter is going on, a absolute chill is there, cold weather is there, and if you are consuming the ice cream, is it right or wrong? Any man who is not a doctor can tell you that this is wrong, because it is a thing which will disturb you. Everyone knows logically it should not be taken. Or if during this rainy weather, if you are not taking your care and You are getting wet off and on without preventing the getting wet. You get certain entities, you react to it. Even though your body tries to adapt, but many times it gets affected. Basically, acute miasm, this happens. And for that purpose, Hahnemann have written very specifically, if you know those things which derange the health, it is your duty to remove them from the patients in the state of health. The things which keep up disease relate more particularly to the external thing. There are conditions in man's life which keep up and encourage man's disorder. The disorder is from interior, but many of the disturbances that aggravate disorder are external. So many things are there which disturbs human being. They are from outside. They are not from inside. So such a things are always there. Person who comes to you who is having severe acid peptic trouble off and on, and he goes on consuming 10 cups of tea per day. So why he is suffering? He is suffering because he is putting acid, and acid, tannic acid. He is suffering. So it is your duty to tell him that he stop at once the tea. So these are the things which Hahnemann exactly wanted to tell you. He, this is common sense. This is not uncommon. This is common sense. Anyone can follow that. The cause of disorder is internal and is of such quality that it affects the government from the interior, while the coarser things are such as can disturb more especially the body, such as improperly selected food, living in damp houses, etc. So many people who suffers because of severe joint pains and they remains in damp houses, or they get asthma because of remaining in damp houses. That becomes a maintaining cause for them. So these are the things many a times it troubles them. If you take them away, the patient talks in this way. Doctor, I'm suffering from this problem only whenever I'm in my house. When I go for traveling, I'm always better. So it means something there is troubling him. There was one patient who used to come to me for off and on coryza. And one day he came and he said, Doctor, it, whether it is because of tortoise which I am using over there at night, because yesterday I thought that I was sleeping over there, I started getting sneezing and sneezing. Last week I have not utilized the tortoise, I was happy. So see, these patient understand these are the factors which stimulates the disease process, which stimulates a human being to react to the external thing. And these are the things which one must take into consideration. It is hardly worth while to dwell upon these things because any ordinary physician is sufficiently well versed in hygiene to remove from his patients the external obstacles. And these are the obstacles in the process of recovery. There in India, basically in village level, the tobacco mystery is a very important entity and which hinders the progress of recovery in patient. They get so addicted to them that they cannot do their work, and it is to remove them from their state of from them is a difficult task, and that task you have to follow. You tell them directly, yes, if you're going to stop, then I will going to give you medicine. If you don't stop, I will not going to give you medicine. Be firm, be confident, explain in detail that you have to stop it at once. Then and then homeopathy will work. And these things are very much necessary. Yesterday, I had a case of a doctor who is coming to me for ambient, and he is a heavy smoker. He, after medicines, all his movements becomes normal, everything is, but still pain persists, and he was arguing, sir, I'm not getting the result. And when I asked, what about the smoking? He said, only 3, 4 per day. I said, don't come to me. Go for surgery, that will be better for you. If you are not able to control yourself, but what you will going to tell your patients? Then he agreed, yes, I will stop this time. And so you stop because your movements, which is 2 months back, your movements were restricted. Now your movements are normal, and still pain is persistent only because you are not leaving the smoking. So such things are always there in your practice. You can get the people like that, and you have to ask the patient to stop them so that person can be prevented from further disorder. So this is related with the fourth aphorism where he explains that he should likewise be the preserver of health if he knows the things that derange the health and cause the disease, and how to remove them from the patient's state of health. So here completes two main aphorisms. The third aphorism as well as fourth aphorism in today's session. Tomorrow, not tomorrow, on Monday we're going to start with the next part, next paragraph, because that has been related with the fifth aphorism. And fifth aphorism is having a lot meaning. What Kant says, that also I will going to discuss, and I will going to add what exactly is mentioned over there. So we'll discuss both things in on Monday's lecture. Tomorrow will be holiday and Sunday will be holiday. Second important thing I want to announce, I have put one note on the group regarding the 10th September seminar by Dr. Gaurang Gaikwad and Dr. Shishir Paranspe at Pune. It is a wonderful opportunity to grab many things, learn from them, young chaps, but having a lot of dedication for homeopathy. Those people who are interested must enroll immediately because there are very limited seats available in that seminar. So I have sent all those things, and if you are doing it in group, then you have a concession, and being my student, you have a more concession. So make an opportunity to join that seminar so that there will no further disappointment should be there. So that's all for today. We'll meet at 9:30 with a new remedy, that is the rush talks, because it is again a wonderful remedy of present situation, and many things we can learn in rush talks. So that will be good for all of us to share something regarding the rush talks. So thank you everyone. Thank you, Varke sir, and everyone. See the dedication of Dr. Varke sir, being an allopath and being such a senior man, he used to attend every session and wants to learn the homeopathy. Such a dedication should be there from every student of homeopathy. So thanks everyone. We'll meet at 9:30.